every year people talk about something.
Oh my God, the fucking West is so good.
I know, right? Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's the one and only legend of winning, aka Low. We had to pull off an emergency podcast because Jesus Christ, some major news has hit us before even 12 o'clock. Some trades are being made. Signings had to be done before all season was in full effect. And tomorrow, and you already know who I'm here with. I'm here with the one and only. Y'all know who he is.
Hey, go ahead. I know you wasn't going to introduce Waffleman like that.
Yo, go ahead and tell him what's good, yo. Tell him what's good, yo.
Go ahead. You know the main characters is back in this bitch now. You can't have a podcast without the main character. You know, we got Snoopy over there. We got Bob the Builder over here. You know, it's lit, boy. You know, NBA season free agency tipping off. Knicks is back again. You know, we lit, bro. We lit.
You're excited every year for the Knicks, and every year.
Listen, man, don't be hating on the Knicks, man. We back this year, son.
Yo, you were hating on them and like mid-season, your own team.
Nigga, that's because we got Phil, but Phil is out, man. So we back.
What is that? Again. You still have garbage ownership. Y'all hear those rumors? Masai Ujiri, the greatest GM in the league, gonna go to the Knicks. What? I was like, why would he do that? Do you know who the ownership? You know who the owner is? Who would want to work under that? Who?
Listen, bro, chill out, B.
That man pathetic, bro. That ownership needs to go, or the Knicks team can be forever trash. Anyway, let's get into the pod.
Yo. Oh, shit, my bad. Yo, I'm going to tell y'all right now. Okay, there's a lot of things that have been going on since we did a podcast, especially live on the channel. A lot of moves have been made today. Before we actually get into the big news, let's talk about the Blake Griffin signing real quick so we can have some people funnel in it while I try to promote it on Twitter. So if people out there who don't know, Blake Griffin has already made the decision to sign back with the Clippers. This isn't a surprise to me. If you've been following the channel for 2 months, I predicted this 2-3 months ago because I said this makes the most sense out of any move that could potentially happen. Chris Paul left because they were not going to give him that ridiculous amount of money. Obviously, there were some things going on behind the scenes as well. It was ridiculous. For the amount of money they were going to pay him for max money. And on top of it, there was some stuff going on behind the scenes as well with Doc Rivers and so on and so forth.
That's what really needs to go.
Yeah, that's what really need to go. But before we get into the actual talk about Paul George, y'all talk about that real quick about Blake Griffin going back to Clippers, receiving the max money, and Chris Paul moving on with the Houston Rockets real quick.
Yo, how much Blake got paid? 5 years, 170.
Say it again.
How much did Blake get paid?
He got Blake. Blake got that max.
Too much.
Blake got the max though. He got max. Let me double check the facts real quick.
Yo, I was looking at the career earnings of NBA legends yesterday, and Blake with his 1 5-year contract surpassed so many legends and people like iconic basketball players. So this shit is crazy, man. There's a lot of money being tossed around.
Blake 5-year, $173 million.
Damn, the Clippers got him again, bro.
Yo, how do you justify that? How do you not just?
I've already said this. He's the face of the franchise. I don't understand why people were so like.
Face of what?
Yeah, he's the face of the franchise.
Are they gonna build around him in time? In those 5 years, they're gonna build around him.
But people, I think people get too caught up in trying to win championships. Some teams are just content with just like where they're at right now.
There's no team content because the GMs can get fired if he doesn't make progress. And so the GM wants his job. He's trying to make progress.
He needs to get fired. Doc Rivers need to get fired anyway.
But I'm saying everybody from the coaches to the trainers to the scouts to the GMs, they can never get complacent or they'll lose their job. It's quick how you get fired in the NBA. And it's not that you won't get your money because you still end up getting your money if you get fired. But who's going to hire you next? You just like when Sam Mitchell got fired from the Raptors. I think previously he coached the Timberwolves, right? He left the Timberwolves, if I'm not mistaken, but then he coached the Raptors. He did all right, but like everyone was like, we could do better. They fired him, and now he's in rumors. People are considering coaching, picking him up. But like, I don't know. That's what I think people are worried about. But this is probably the most interesting offseason start we've had
in a very long time.
Since I was born, I think. I haven't seen one with this many moves. I'd be at Best Buy, look down at my phone, CP3 was traded. I'm like, what?
That's how the NBA is now, man. If you don't make moves, you'll be stuck in the middle. You don't want to be stuck in the middle. You're either rebuilding or you're trying to
like
stacking up.
We did this last year too. Does it matter? Because who's winning the championship? We called it last year.
I mean, we did that. We did that last year just because KD made that move. But if KD didn't make the move, then I think a lot of this stuff would actually be much more.
I mean, if Iggy leaves Golden State, I think that's a hit because I don't even think he's scheduled shit with the Warriors yet. I read some tweets saying that. So if Iggy leaves, but like, what does that mean though? Iggy left. There's still the team that's gonna win the championship unless the Cavs could pull some crazy shit. But now that Paul George is gone and Blake is gone and Jimmy Butler is gone, they're really running out of options outside of like Melo. But clearly, a lot of teams in the league don't want Kevin Love. So who are they gonna give up? I just saw on Twitter today, and keep in mind this is fucking Twitter. You don't know how true some of this shit is. But I heard Kyrie was on the block.
Can we also say that too? Everybody stop telling me what people say on Twitter because nobody really said this on Twitter.
Yo, if you put sources like before your tweet, everybody believes you.
Stop with that. Minnesota with Jimmy Butler, I rarely saw that. This right here came out of the blue because everybody was talking about Cleveland or talking about Boston. This right here also came out of the blue with Paul George. Stop telling me what people say on Twitter.
They don't know.
Use common sense. Yeah, people stop. There's a reason why those rumors are making it out, and this right here didn't come out.
It's the offseason, and general manager's responsibility is to make the team better, you know? And so I don't know why people are surprised when you hear stuff like Kyrie was in trade talks. Of course he's in trade talks. There's probably only a handful of fucking players in the NBA that are on a no-trade list. Don't even call me saying LeBron. Don't think about calling me saying Kevin Durant because there's nothing you can offer me that'll make me want to give him up. Everyone's on the block. If somebody calls, you're listening. You want to hear what the fucking offer is. That shit is crazy. People just go crazy. Oh, Kyrie's on the block. What are we thinking? We're thinking we have options. We're shopping. It doesn't mean you're going to make the sale. You're just shopping to see what you want to get.
That's a fact. I just the whole Twitter being a source. Please, people stop doing that shit. That shit is dumb as hell. There's so many people who just kept saying like this was going to happen, that was going to happen, and a lot of shit just didn't happen. And
that happens every year too, man.
Every year, and there's a reason why that stuff gets out because they just think. There's some people who think they know and they got sources, but them people don't know shit, bro.
I feel bad for Pacers fans right now.
If it isn't Woj talking, you might as well just don't even follow them.
But Woj didn't even drop this shit. Ramona did.
Woj didn't say anything about this.
Yes, I mean,
Woj actually specifically said he wasn't going to drop nothing until midnight. That's when he said he's gonna start moving.
Woj is almost never wrong because when Woj says something, it's because it already happened. Like you can't go wrong from there. Like unless they pull a DeAndre and just back out the deal, right?
That's a fact. That's a fact. When Woj's talking, actually go. But we're going to go off because I know you're trying to talk about the Blake Griffin shit, bro.
Well, they got their franchise player so for 5 years. So I mean, the Clippers are just trying to make sure that they don't lose their whole haul. They just lost Chris Paul, and Chris Paul was lucky enough to give them the option to trade them. And you know, Blake Griffin had meetings with the Suns and he had meetings with the I think Nuggets, and he declined those trades because he wanted the money, of course, and you know he wanted to be the face of the franchise in Los Angeles. So it's good that the Clippers got him back. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that the Clippers should just lose freaking Blake Griffin for nothing, but you know, you get your star player back.
That's what you want though. If you're the Clippers, do you want to keep Blake? Is that your franchise player, or do you want to just play?
Yes, that is your franchise player. Yes.
But wouldn't you like, for example, let's say you bombed, right? And you got the first overall pick and you drafted Markelle Fultz. Wouldn't you prefer that next year?
Yeah, but next year's draft isn't as good as this year's draft was.
Yo,
he's only projected like 1 or 2 players.
That shit at all.
I don't even think. Do they even have their pick?
It's gonna change by the next draft. You don't know. There's gonna be new players who pop up, come out of nowhere. There's gonna be players that.
But this time last year we knew how deep this draft was supposed to be.
No, we didn't.
I'm just saying. Yes, we did. This draft
was pure speculation. They're high school players.
But I mean, what I'm saying is this draft was actually supposed to be deeper than what it was because a lot of players got injured. So I think this draft was just something very, very odd. I mean, we're talking about players. I mean, we're talking about the draft that went potentially 8 prospects deep with all-star talent, or at least projected to be all-star talent or potential. This year's draft was different. The only reason why I said that they were going to keep Blake Griffin, and again, I said this 2 or 3 months ago and people thought I was crazy, is because it doesn't make sense for you to give that much to Kyrie. Chris Paul. And if you're not going to get that much of Chris Paul, more than likely he's going to walk, because why would he even stay? Because it's the same team over and over again. And then we transition to why not keep Blake Griffin? Because he's still a quality enough player for you to keep him. I don't think him and DJ can do it alone, obviously. But I don't know. I just feel like people are overreacting to the whole thing. I think Blake Griffin is still, if when healthy, obviously, when healthy.
I just don't think he fits in many offenses. I know he's trying to improve his three-point shot, but until he can do that, I wouldn't want him on a team I cheer for just because is he playing center? Is he going to out-rebound other bigs? Because if he's not doing that, then
he's power forward.
If you're not stretching at the 4 in 2017, I don't know what offense you're running, but that's some kumbaya shit. Because at this point, you have to be stretching the floor.
He might be able to get he might be able to get better, honestly, because Chris Paul, Chris Paul.
That's what I've heard too. I heard
is a demanding player. He always had the ball in his hand. Blake Griffin can dribble up the court on the fast breaks and stuff like that. So maybe Blake Griffin will start doing more of his own thing now that he's actually the main vessel on the team instead of Chris Paul being there. So, Chris Paul was running that team, bro.
And so Chris Paul went to the Rockets where
I don't understand that move. I really don't.
The guy with the usage rating through the roof. That's the guy he wanted to play with.
And let's also be clear. It's not like I think Chris Paul's a quality player, but it's also other quality point guards that still on free agency. Yes. You still have Kyle Lowry that's available. You still have Drew Holiday that's still available. And now that Chris Paul's off the books, you have the money to go get someone else. It's not like they're done with their moves.
Yeah.
He still got money. They still have plenty of money.
Yeah, man.
Well, we got 755 people in here, so let's go and get into this dumbass. Let's get into this Boston because I'm tired of Boston fans, man. Y'all Boston fans kill me, and I'm really about to lay in it, and I'm gonna make another video tomorrow laying in y'all again. Boston fans, please shut the fuck up about what you think you know about basketball because you don't know nothing about basketball. It's been over five months now since we've heard the exact same rhetoric from idiots talking about how they think they know something, but they don't. So first it was, we're going to get KD. That's what we're going to get next. We're going to get KD. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm so sure we're going to get KD. I'm going to get Al Horford a max contract, you dumbass motherfucker. So then that didn't work. So then next go around was trade deadline. We gonna get DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie, and Al Horford in the lane. Oh my goodness! And then he got traded, so you didn't get him either. Then it was, don't worry, because we got the draft picks. We gonna get the haul. We gonna make the moves. We gonna trade somebody. Oh my goodness! Then Danny Ainge moves down to third. So you didn't know that either. Then, no, I'm not taking that back. No, you didn't move anything, and you thought you were gonna get Fultz. People were so sure that they were going to get Fultz, and you had idiots, making custom jerseys with Fultz names on the back of it, as if they knew what they were doing, and they didn't know. Then they burned the jerseys because he moved down to draft Tatum. But then you sat there and said when he moved down, Danny Ainge, he playing chess while y'all playing checkers. You know what Danny Ainge gonna do? Danny Ainge, he trying to get all the pieces around. So now he got another draft pick with the Los Angeles Lakers or even the Kings in 2 more years, and he gonna get a nice little haul, and then he gonna make a move on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler gets traded to Minnesota. Then you're like, we got it. Don't worry about it because we gonna get Tatum. We drafted Tatum, and then we still gonna get a small forward in Gordon Hayward, and then we gonna get Paul George. Shut up. Boston fans, you know little to nothing. Everything that you said kept pushing and postponing to where we're at right now, and now everyone's off the board. And the only thing you're trying to swing your head at is Gordon Hayward. And why would Gordon Hayward go to that team if he can stay in Utah, get more money, and go over the cap and exceed the cap while getting more assets and go in Utah, or even go to Miami? It's not like y'all acting as if like Boston is like this super team that has all the pieces set in place. No, you all have assets that you all haven't moved yet. So I'm tired of Boston fans telling me what I do and what I don't know about basketball, because for the last 5 to 8 months, you have consistently been wrong about your organization and what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, that's fine. That's cool. I don't know what Boston is doing. But don't sit here and tell me how I'm wrong. And for 8 months, you've been wrong about everything that Danny Ainge has done. And here again is another asset that's now gone, and you don't know what you're doing.
You know what I need
to shut up, bro.
I think he's afraid to buy in. He was the GM that publicly said he wants to wait until the LeBron era is done, right? That he didn't want to go around competing with LeBron's and the Golden State super teams. I just think he's trying to put a hold on things until things at least blow over. So What can he possibly do? Cashing on any assets, and then what? Even if you beat the Cavs, you're getting swept by the Warriors. The Warriors are too good. What do you do about the Warriors? No team has an answer for that shit. And we haven't seen shit like.
But if you,
what?
I have no problem if you want to rebuild. That's fine. But wouldn't it make more sense to rebuild with the number 1 pick and get Fultz?
Yeah, I don't get that.
They're not trying to rebuild.
That's what I thought too. I thought the whole thing, you're not trying to rebuild. You just moved down to 3. There were still quality players in the draft. So not only did you still get a quality player to trade, you still got another first round pick, regardless if it's the Lakers or Sacramento. That's what I thought they were doing because that made sense.
Yo, wouldn't you rather have?
But they still didn't move.
Wouldn't you rather have the trade value of Markelle Fultz? Wouldn't you rather have that? I know you're supposed to pick players that fit your team, but why would you trade down when there's a perceived drop-off between the 2nd and the 3rd draft pick? I still don't get that.
I don't know. I just get tired of Boston fans. They don't know what you don't know, bro. You don't know. And it's cool not to know. I've been saying for almost a year now that I'm confused to what exactly Boston is doing. I have no problem with not knowing. But stop acting like you know, because you don't know. There's been multiple moves that have been made that Boston fans have not been able to predict.
Yo, Low, relax, bro. Danny Ainge got this. He's gonna bring
that right there. It just pissed me off because everybody can't Millsap every single month trying to make an excuse for why Danny Ainge is making these moves, and you don't know. Stop acting like you're projecting out. I had people in my comment section talking about how they gonna get Blake Griffin, Paul George, Gordon Hayward. Like, you don't know if they're gonna get these players. And the fact that not only Paul George, forgetting Paul George, the fact that Phil Jackson was even dangling KP, make the trade to get KP.
He
wasn't dangling. He just had the phone open, man. People stop getting mad at that shit.
I know, but even if the phone
was fielding them offers. He was fielding them offers.
I would throw everything
in the league. Unless you're a top 10 player, yeah. If you call me, I'm on the phone to see what you have. Would you trade Kristaps for LeBron? If the answer is yes, then he should pick up the phone and see what the team is talking about.
But what I'm saying is, if KP's there, you do both of what you're trying to do. You get a quality player that's projected to have all-star talent level, right? And you still stay young because KP is like 21 years old. So you do both. Why would you not trade for KP?
The real question is, who in the fuck is leaking all this shit to the media?
I don't know.
Who is the person in the Knicks organization?
That's probably Phil Jackson doing all that shit.
That's probably Phil. Yeah, that's probably Phil.
And they probably could have asked for Melo too, because he was trying to get Melo. You probably give him Melo.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Jackson was trying to get fired because remember when he retired, he didn't want to do shit.
Of course he was trying to get fired. He'd been trying to get fired. He didn't even want the job in the first place.
Yeah, you guys had to beg him to do the job.
This man was getting paid the most out of any other president in the league. He ain't come out the freaking bathtub to just get some chump change.
Yo, Lo, somebody's spitting facts in the comment section, bro. He said, "Why the fuck are you mad? Someone who's trying to be positive about their own team."
It's again, I'm not talking about someone being positive. That's fine. You can be optimistic, but at some level, at some stage, you have to be realistic, right? And I'm tired of other people or other fans, or especially Boston fans, just keep gloating about what they have and they haven't done anything with it. And again, if you want to be optimistic, that's cool. If you want to say, "Hey, Lo, this is what I think they're trying to do," right? It's one thing to do that, or it's one thing to say, "Man, I really don't know what they're trying to do, but this is what they potentially could do." It's another thing to tell me that you know what they're doing and then list off the starting lineup that they're going to have and then list off how they're going to run the team and then list off what they're going to do as if you know.
And it's usually a person who knows little about any sort of management, let alone
little.
And like they haven't done any research on how maybe it went down in the past. They don't know any of the rules in the CBA whatsoever. They just go on assuming some shit.
Listen, again, people.
Yo.
People bought jerseys.
As you're saying this, someone on Twitter, we have to get Gordon Hayward now. The Celtics can't strike out on KD, Jimmy Butler, and Paul George. Danny Ainge has a plan. There we go.
There's no plan. Gordon Hayward isn't going to stop anybody.
There we go.
That's what I'm saying. Gordon Hayward is not even that great of a player.
So now if you're Gordon Hayward, why the hell you go to the Celtics for less money? You can't even compete.
Exactly. Why would you go to where you go?
Sure, you might be on an all-star team, right? Well, who gives a fuck? You want your money.
Why would you go?
Jazz got rid of Hill. They're gonna get rid of Hill. They brought in Rubio because they want to sign this man.
Wait, what did they get rid of Hill for? I didn't catch that part.
No, they saying they're going to because he's a free agent, so they're more likely not going to.
They brought in Rubio so they could sign.
But they didn't get rid of him though. He just left.
No, they didn't get rid of him. No. And let's also get clear. It sounded like Utah was a bad team. Utah finished with 51 wins last year. Boston had 53.
And they had injuries all season.
Yeah, they had major injuries. I think Favors played like what 30, 40 games last year. That
was not a big portion of it too.
Yeah, like so it's not like even with injuries they still play. Let me see how many Favors played 50 games. However, he's playing less than 24 minutes a game, and he didn't even start those games. So if Favors is healthy, you get a healthy point guard, and even Gordon Hayward, who missed a couple of games in the beginning of the season. You get and Ronnie Hood only played 59 games, even while being injured. That team still won 51 games. Why would he leave that team? And I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but it's just common sense coming from me. Why would he leave that team to go to another team who couldn't land a big free agent, or not the big free agent, who couldn't land Paul George to convince him to stay? What sense does that make? Doesn't make any sense. The
question is, why does no one want Kevin Love?
Because of the contract in his age. Why would you want Kevin Love?
No one wants Kevin Love. I mean,
no one wants Kevin Love.
Even the Nuggets. Come on.
I don't like because I know the Cavs are. Kevin Love must be in every phone call, and each team is like, "Nah, we're good.
We good. Yeah, we good on K Love. Yeah, we good."
Sure, because there's gonna be a lot of players after this offseason being paid more than K Love that aren't as good as K Love.
I doubt it. Can he making $22 million next year?
There's definitely gonna be players like George Hill will be making that money. I fuck with George Hill.
No, George Hill. I think people will stop giving the overpaying players because the salary cap didn't go up as high as people expect it to be. It's not even $100 million this year. It was projected to be something serious. Yeah, and let's also I'm not trying to, but like this whole idea that they were trying to be optimistic. When you sit there and you buy a jersey, you customize a jersey and put Fultz's name on the back of it, you think you know what you're talking about. There's no rhyme or reason you would invest in a custom-made jersey and put someone's name on the back of it if you weren't 100% sure. So don't give me this whole Boston, they this and that. No, Boston fans for the last year have been running their mouth acting like they know what's going on. And here we are where they swung out on another player. And if they don't get Gordon Hayward, they more than likely go on to the next year with the exact same team, but besides Jason Tatum on the roster. So get out of here with that. Y'all give me.
That's another thing I don't understand. They got Jason Tatum. Yeah. They drafted Jaylen Brown last year. They still got Jay Crowder under contract, and now they're trying to bring in Gordon Hayward
and Paul George and Paul George.
So you got all these forwards in here, and I don't know what they were thinking when they. Listen, man, they should have went into rebuild mode.
No, you don't understand. This is what they trying to do. It's a positionless game now, Waffle. You understand that now? Jaylen Brown, he can play 2. Jason Tatum can play 4. Gordon Hayward can play 3. And then we have Paul George coming off the bench. You don't know that? Yeah. Stuff like that. What people used to tell me. Come on, get out of here.
Yo, if you have the great Al Horford playing your center, you're about to end up 30th in the league in rebounds.
Listen, they were in perfect position to rebuild. They had the number 1 pick. They could have drafted Fultz. They had the Nets pick next year. Isaiah Thomas is going to be a free agent next year, so you might be able to get. Listen, man, this organization. And they got the Clippers pick if it falls to 15 or 30.
Yeah, they do got a Clippers pick.
Yeah,
they got a good handful of picks.
They should have cashed the fuck in this year.
Yep.
They got to do it eventually. And when Isaiah Thomas can get more money. There's a lot of players on that team that's going to get more money. You're stuck with the Horfords on long contracts that are getting too much money. But you have all these picks, and then you decide to trade down and get less talent for no reason. Eventually you got to make a fucking move. So many teams are afraid to make moves. Shout out to the Bulls. People mad at the Bulls, but the Bulls made a move. Granted, it was a year late, but the Clippers got nothing back. They lost Chris Paul. They got a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of bench players. They re-signed Griffin to a max contract.
They got quality players.
They got
the Clippers are going nowhere now because they couldn't make the right trade for Blake. They couldn't make the right trade for DeAndre. They couldn't make the right trade for Chris Paul. And now they're stuck with nothing. You wait too long, you get nothing. Yo, shout out to the teams making moves, man. It's about fucking time teams take shots.
Honestly, the Clippers are lucky they even got something for Chris Paul.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they got the whole Houston bench, bro.
Yeah. That's another thing. So I'm surprised how I mean, I know they weren't like quality players, but they were still like bench depth that they just gave up for Chris Paul.
You know what that reminded me of? That New York trade with Melo. That
was a bad trade. That was a bad trade, and that was all because of fucking James Dolan.
Yep.
Couldn't just wait. You just had to pull the trigger. You fucking fat.
I think the Knicks are gonna end up like the Kings, unless something massive happens with James.
No, we good.
We good. But I'm saying bad ownership would kill you. Back in like 2006, the Raptors had horrible management that was just focused on making profits, and so they would try their hardest to not pass the luxury tax. They didn't give a fuck about winning, and so the team lost a lot. Whether we had Dwayne Casey, Jay Triano, or Sam Mitchell back then, it didn't matter who the coach was or who the talent was. Vince Carter, we had Tracy McGrady at one point. We had stars on our team, but bad ownership will kill a franchise. And right now, the Knicks have bad ownership. So when rumors like Masai Ujiri, one of the best GMs, going to the Knicks come up, why would a general manager want to work with ownership that's not completely aligned with his vision and how he sees things? New York is a dope city with a lot of fucking bright lights. If you can do it in New York, everyone's gonna want you. So Masai wins Executive of the Year in Denver. Toronto wants him back. Toronto gets him. He performs well in Toronto. Now the Knicks want him, but awful ownership is gonna kill it. Players aren't gonna want to play for that team. No good GM is gonna want to go to that team. I feel bad for you, man.
The floodgates are opening.
I mean, we'll see. It really comes down to if you guys can draft players like Porzingis and just like that's what the Warriors did right before KD. They just went on scouting. That's what the Spurs do. So we'll see, man.
Apparently, there's like mad calls coming in for Melo now. Niggas is trying to get Melo now. We'll see what happens.
How much years do you have on his contract left?
He has like 2
1 year. Oh yeah, 2 years if he picks up that player option. I think. Well, here's the thing. I just think a lot of people are. That's another thing too, because I saw you say this on Twitter. Why are people just moving people to get one year rentals? I think what a lot of people are doing are just trying to get rid of the bad contracts that they signed last year because everybody overreacted to how much the cap was going to be. And so if they can move a couple of pieces here and there to get rid of that terrible contract, because Victor Oladipo, as much as I love Victor Oladipo and his potential, he's not worth $21 million, right? And the same thing go with Timothy Mozgov with LA.
But
he could be, but I don't think that worked. That backcourt dynamic, I don't think it would have worked, especially for $21 million. Same thing with Timothy Mozgov. That was just a ridiculous contract. And so if you can move forward and try to move some of those ridiculous contracts you signed last year, that'll be great. Same thing may happen in Portland as well. Look out for Portland. Alan Crabb, Evan Turner. Evan Turner's coming off the bench making $17.5 million. I think next year is 17.1, something like that. Alan Crabb is making somewhere between 17 to 18 million as a starter, but he's not a quality enough player. Those moves, look out for them because I think people are really pushing. We need to move some cap and move some players off the books and try to get some more players next year because around 108 to 110 million dollars the cap was this year, and now it's only 99. So that's another big thing to look out for as well. Let's go back to being positive. What does this mean for OKC? Because OKC got rid of.
What could it possibly mean?
Well, it just means that they're going to be competing with the Rockets.
What it means is they wasted their pick last year.
That's what they're trying to compete with. To be honest,
that wasn't a good pick though. So, I mean, I don't think so. What was Sabonis? Let me see.
No, but I'm saying they wasted it. It was a bad pick.
What do you mean?
That's all it means. Because what are they? Unless they can,
they didn't draft Sabonis. They didn't draft Sabonis though.
Was it
Orlando did? That was Orlando. That was part of Orlando.
Yeah, that was Oladipo.
That's just
Sabonis.
Bro. Here's what it is, man.
He was an 11th pick anyway. It wasn't.
That team next year can lose Westbrook and Paul George and be left with just like Steven Adams.
Did he? Did Westbrook sign his extension yet, or they just offered it to him?
Westbrook might resign, but nothing official happened yet.
They said he's expected to sign his 5-year extension.
I don't think Westbrook's going to leave OKC, to be honest.
I don't think he is.
I mean, I didn't think Chris Paul was going to get traded. There's a lot of things I don't think is going to happen, but
I expected Chris Paul to leave, though.
I expected Chris Paul to leave too, so that doesn't really surprise me.
Nah, there's a lot of shit that happens. I had no clue that shit was going to pop off. But hey, You think what are they gonna do? They might hit 3rd seed, for maybe 4th seed, and then what? Maybe make it to the 2nd round. Westbrook's a great player. If they get, they could push really hard and fight their way to the Western Conference Finals if they get the 3rd seed and they'll have to fight Golden State. But then what? That means they might have beat the Spurs. So are they gonna beat the Spurs with that team?
Are the Spurs like who the Spurs got?
And the Spurs might lose.
The Spurs making moves?
Like what? Like there's not like Paul. I don't think Paul Gasol's a free agent right now. He declined his option. They got LaMarcus Aldridge,
but they got that one guy. What's his name? DeJounte Murray popping off. They have.
They had Jonathan Simmons as well. I mean, I don't think any of those players are going to be quality enough players to propel them in a situation to put them.
Honestly, I don't think just like when you're playing with the triangle, I don't even think it's as much about the talent as it is about the offense. And if I don't know, I just haven't seen the Spurs bad ever. And every year I'm like, this is the year they're gonna be bad. They find a way to play fucking fantastic. So
I think they're gonna be good. I think they're gonna be good, but I don't think they're really that much competition as much as because everyone else is getting better. More than likely they're gonna just stay the same. I think they're obviously gonna keep Jonathan Simmons. From my understanding, Paul Gasol.
I don't think they're gonna keep him.
Jonathan Simmons?
He's a restricted free agent, but there's gonna be teams offering him like $20 million plus. I don't think.
If he accepts the quality, if he accepts their offer, their quality offer first, and he doesn't become a free agent.
Qualifying offer.
I don't know what's it.
Yeah, I doubt that's gonna be the case. They didn't give him much minutes even when he did play. If you remember, even before this year, the previous year, Jonathan Simmons got a little bit of minutes, and he had his stat line was ridiculous for the minutes he played. He was so efficient on the floor, and everyone's thinking, let's give that guy more minutes next year, and they still haven't given him much minutes, even through all the injuries. The only time we really got to see him was when Kawhi went down, and that was when it didn't matter no more. They're facing Golden State about to get swept. So if I was him, I know other teams are going to offer more than I think San Antonio's going to offer. And I would just dash the same way Marjanovic did. Was that his name? The tall guy, super tall, 7'3". He went to the Pistons.
Yeah. Also, I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people are. I see this in the chat, and I saw this on Twitter as well. Is there any possibility that Indiana could have gotten something better? Because a lot of people are like, why didn't y'all just get a pick? I mean, obviously there were some picks involved with the Boston Celtics. Do you think they could have done a little bit more for Paul George, or you think Sabonis, who I guess technically is a top, he was 11th pick, so Sabonis and Victor Oladipo, who are two very young players, do you think that was enough for Paul George?
Nah,
I don't think Sabonis is a player. I think they want to build on Oladipo, man. I don't know why. Usually when players are in the league this long, like Oladipo, and they've been traded around this much, it's not a good sign, but you saw players like Dion Waiters blow up. I honestly think Oladipo can be an 88 overall player. So
what does that mean?
What the hell? I think Waiters got better because the Heat are just a good organization. Yeah, remember when Pat Riley, when he came to the Waiters came to the Heat, Pat Riley was like, "Listen, bro, come here, young buck. We're gonna take your talent and we're gonna make you into a good player, bro. We got the regimen for you, boy." And look what he did. I don't think Oladipo. Oh man, I just he's a good player, but I don't think he's gonna get great. I'm not sure he's gonna get any more better than he is right now.
Whoa, he's definitely gonna get better than he is right now.
Yeah, he's gonna average more, of course, because he's on a team by himself now. But
yeah,
he was on a team by himself in Orlando.
I think I would rather get maybe a first round.
They misuse him. They misuse him in Orlando. That last year they had him coming off the bench for basically half the season. And his numbers were slowly going up. Like his rookie year, he averaged 14 points. Second year in Orlando, he averaged 18 points. So he was already on a trajectory to be a 20-point scorer. And then the third year, they had him come off the bench because they had signed Evan Fournier for $17 million a year. And so then they had him come off the bench. That's when they brought in fucking Jeff Green and they put Ibaka at the power forward and then Aaron Gordon at the small forward. That Orlando was just doing a whole bunch of stupid stuff, and they had no idea what they were doing. That's the reason why I really don't hold that against.
I traded for Terrence Ross and a useless first rounder.
I don't really, but because I'm looking in the chat and people are telling me that Boston apparently try to supply Indiana with three first round picks. What type of first round picks were they? But what because they have the first round picks, but what were the first round picks though? Because Boston has like Memphis first round picks that aren't really that valuable. I mean, they're first round picks, but they're not that good. They also have
Clippers.
What's the other team? They had a Clippers first round pick, but it's heavily protected. So what type of first round picks was it? Because I don't really think it was that good. And at the end of the day, I think Victor Oladipo, like Agent said, he's 25. He's 25 or 24, something like that. I feel like he has a potential to be a 20-point scorer. That's not something that you can necessarily. It's not something that's promised to be drafted even in the top 3. So I feel like Victor Oladipo has potential. They potentially could have gotten a little bit more, but it's not 100% guaranteed on the type of players that you have. And I think Victor Oladipo has already shown that type of promise. I don't know. I think Indiana potentially could have got more, but I don't think it's the worst trade in the world for them.
Yeah,
far from that. Far from a worst trade.
I'm just glad they made a trade, because they could have just.
That's a fact.
They could have left with nothing. And I mean, Larry Bird just left, so the whole organization's like, yo, what do we do? And I'm assuming Oladipo and Sabonis were the best young guys that people were offering, because I don't think people were going to give up draft picks for a 1-year rental.
As a fact, can we please stop like blaming like these players? I be seeing that shit in the chat, like certain old ass people, old heads who be on radio stations and stuff like that, be blaming players. Like, what is Paul George supposed to do? Like, is he just supposed to sit there on the same garbage ass team who's not doing nothing? And the same thing with like, what is CP3 supposed to do? Like, someone went on Colin Cowherd's show and said that CP3 is a quitter. It's like, Jesus Christ, he's been on that team for 6 years.
You can't quit when every time you get into the playoffs, someone get injured.
That's a fact. That is a fact. You can't quit every single time. You can't quit every single time a small forward gets brought up in trade rumors. Doc Rivers declined it because he doesn't want to move his son. Like, come on. Like, why would I stay on that team? Completely outrageous. Let's talk about that real quick. Then that Doc Rivers turned down the Carmelo trade because he didn't want to move Austin Rivers. Like, why would you be mad at Chris Paul? Why would you not be mad at Doc Rivers on that? That makes no sense to me. Oh man, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense going on.
They should have. I don't know, man. That's why Doc Rivers should have never got his son on the team in the first place. Let your son rock. Let him become a man on his own, and you don't bring him on the team and worry about paying his contract and treating him a different way. And players seeing that, and you're dividing the locker room and stuff like that. Now you got a big ass trade offer where if you get Carmelo Anthony, at least if you get Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul's thing at least for another year. And then you might bring Blake back, and you might see if you can get another player with them. Or you might even trade Blake Griffin. But if you get Carmelo Anthony, that team is going to change for the definite future.
Yeah. It just blew me away that he didn't make any moves to get Carmelo, especially when you start to see the offers are that low. Especially with your man Phil Jackson was just ready to just give up on Carmelo for little to nothing, and he still said no.
Like Austin Rivers,
Jesus.
like come on.
Yeah,
they had Raymond Felton, they were good.
But no, he said, "No, I gotta keep Austin. I gotta keep Austin." Jesus, man,
that's good for them. Shit.
I'm trying to figure out anything else that's really happened, to move, to shake, to something like that. We talked about Blake Griffin resigning, and where exactly y'all think Gordon Hayward is going to go? Y'all think he's going to stay in Utah? Y'all think he'll go to Boston or Miami?
The Celtics, bro, of course. Where the fuck else would he go?
That's a fact. Why would he go anywhere else? He's gonna go to the Celtics, yo. Y'all know that already. If again, if we're gonna be optimistic about the Celtics, trade every single last asset you have to go get either Porzingis or Anthony Davis. That's what y'all need to go do.
Just as simple as this.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, do something. I don't understand why they're not doing anything.
Look at that, doing none of those players.
Like, they playing checkers, man. I mean, they playing chess. Or they think they playing chess. That doesn't make no sense.
Gordon Hayward's gonna stay in the West unless he wants to become. Unless he's like, all right, man, I'm trying to become an All-Star though. Let me become an All-Star because that he's definitely not becoming an All-Star now. Not with Paul George and Butler on the West.
That's a fact.
Along with KD and Draymond, one of them is gonna be left off.
Let's talk about that too. The West now became so much stacked again again, the West is stacked. I don't ever want to hear a word about LeBron keep going to some finals. Because now there's really no competition out in the East. There's so little competition. This shouldn't even be a conference.
If the Raptors lose Lowry, then that's a shit. It's really over now.
I think people are overvaluing him, but keep going.
Yeah, people are overvaluing him a lot. Especially because I hear people talking about giving him over $26 million. I'm like, y'all got that. You got that. So
yeah, Jeff Teague about to get $18 million a year, man.
That's how much I expect him to get. I said around 15 to 17.
I don't know about that, bro. They finally traded away Rubio. I don't know what took them a century. Oh damn!
They traded away Rubio and just got a pick. They didn't acquire any more salary just to free up more cap to make more moves. Yo, shout out to Timberwolves, yo.
Yo,
shout out to the Timberwolves.
I don't know how much I like Tom Thibbs as a coach, but yo, that team's management is killing the game right now.
But your team coach is doing Casey though, so you got it. your team coach is quick Casey. Yeah, yo, I ain't gonna lie. It's the amount of snubs that's going to be in the Western Conference moving forward, bro. It's gonna be ridiculous, man.
I mean, Lillard was off last year.
Yeah, man.
And you got Kawhi too. Oh man, you got
CP3 didn't make it. Now Jimmy Butler's over here, so there's going to be another 4 that's not going to make it. More likely is going to be Paul George, depending on obviously the numbers that they put up. But yo,
it's going to be easy to get in the All-Star game in the East.
Yeah, in the East, yo, if you want to have a legit resume, just go to the East, yo. You gonna have so many All-Star appearances on your name, next to your name, bro. It's gonna be ridiculous, yo.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like other than all the teams fell off, like legit. Tell you, man. Once Porzingis take us to the promised land, boy.
So that means 76ers are definitely making the playoffs. That's not even a question.
They should. I mean, as long as everyone healthy, right?
Yeah.
They're better than the Nets, the Magic.
Yeah, that's another thing too. So like last year, who made the playoffs in the East?
The Bulls, the Pacers, Hawks, they all lost their talent.
It's more likely there's 3 spots that's open. So that means that
Hornets.
Philly is gonna make it. Hornets are probably gonna make it as well. And maybe Detroit, depending on how they bounce back.
I don't know about Detroit. They could lose wait, isn't Drummond? No, Drummond's on a free agent.
KCP. They might be able to lose KCP, but I don't think KCP hasn't been doing that anyway, so who knows?
But that team is just Drummond has been
Orlando.
Yo, free agency starts in an hour, right?
Technically, yeah, free agency starts in an hour, yeah, because it's 10:54, yeah.
Damn.
All this shit is just signings and trades. It's not like legit or people signing back to their organization.
Bro, I'm excited for this shit.
I am too. But also people out there follow me on Twitter. Somebody y'all shooting fireworks because of free agency. yo, they got free agency fireworks. Yo, also make sure y'all follow me on Twitter. I got all the free agency listings on my Twitter page. So every free agent this year, top 10 on each position. Make sure you follow me on my channel for that. I mean on my Twitter page for that at Legend of Winning. Anything y'all want to plug?
Yo, someone in the chat said don't sleep on Miami, which is a good ass point because if it wasn't for the first half of the season with injuries and shit, and the end of the season,
we bugging. We are bugging. I'm sorry to cut you out too, but I'm stupid. Miami making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, we bugging. I'm sorry, Miami fans.
There you go. Get Miami in there, bro.
Yeah, so that's the 3 teams. So the 3 teams that's more likely gonna fall out is Indy, Chicago, Atlanta. 3 teams are probably gonna make it. Philly, Charlotte, Miami. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Miami fans. Yeah, y'all right. Miami make the playoffs.
Good luck, Miami.
We bugging. Yeah, shout out to Miami.
That's real shit.
Y'all got something specific y'all want to talk about?
Nah, man. Knicks is back, boy. We back and we better.
In what regard?
Nigga, in the whole franchise regard, nigga, we got Porzingis,
Y'all had Porzingis last year.
Exactly.
That is like a free agency pickup. We got Porzingis.
Man. That's the big acquisition right there. It's like we got Porzingis all over again. That's how I felt.
How?
Y'all don't understand. You're not Knicks fans, man. You don't understand the struggle.
Yeah, I do. I'm a Raptors fan.
Nah, nigga, you don't understand. You don't understand, man.
Yeah, I don't understand what you talk. You making it seem like y'all got something in free agency.
It says Drew Holiday's going to the Pelicans.
Yeah.
He might resign with the Pelicans.
Yeah, I heard he's gonna resign too.
He better resign. Shit.
I don't know why
they're more likely going to overpay him. That's what that means.
Anyway,
that's what it means.
Yeah, I gotta play some PSVR before the free agency, man. So I got to dash.
All right, what if you gonna be going to? I'm actually about to add another YouTube rating here, but to see if BSOLZ will be able to make it. Yeah, he said he wanted to make it.
Isn't that Celtics fan?
Yeah, I'll talk your Celtics talk, man. Get your one-on-one.
We gotta go ahead and hash this out. We gotta hash this out.
Go get that man, boy.
Let me see if that link works. If not,
well, yeah, man. Thank you for everyone coming. Make sure you subscribe to everyone's channel. People
plug y'all stuff real quick.
People moving up in the world. Knicks fans moving up. It's a good day to be a Knicks fan. It's a good day to be a Yankees fan.
Waffleman and Low on an epic fight to 100K, man.
You don't want to see niggas eat, Agent? Ain't no fight.
That's a fact. Yeah, you want to see me eat? Yo, come on.
Hello? I'm just saying, like,
nigga, we're holding hands to the freaking finish line, boy.
Hello?
What you talking about?
Y'all hear me? Nah, you know how like Jester and LSK were racing to 1 million?
I don't know about that. Who? You said who?
Jester and LSK. They made a bet. They were racing to 1 million. That's what y'all doing right now. Y'all need to make a bet. Who's gonna hit 100K first?
Oh, let me get my NBA channel.
Who knows? Real quick.
Yeah, I got my money on. Wow, I got my money on Waffle just because 2K18 right around the corner, bro.
You don't know. Okay, I see you. All right, I'll catch y'all later since y'all go on in.
All right, man. Take it easy, chat, man. You need me to catch me on Twitter. It's lit.
I'll make sure I put y'all link in the description, bro. All right, so we now joined by BSOLZ. Say what's up, BSOLZ, man.
Fuck Danny Ainge. What's good, man? What's good, man? What's good, man?
Yo, let's go and get into this. Let's get into this Celtics talk, man. Because like I've been saying this for the last 8 months now, and me and you been having this conversation for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah,
y'all are basically swinging on Gordon Hayward, and if y'all miss on Gordon Hayward, then everything's really going to fall apart. And even me, you said this over the last couple of days, especially on Discord. You may put the Discord link in the chat too.
I got you.
And I mean, you even said this on Discord as well. You get a player now, and it makes it easier to persuade Gordon Hayward. However, Danny Ainge yet again caught sleeping at the wheel. Another big time move slips out of the hand of Danny Ainge, even though he has all the assets in the world to make something happen. What is your thoughts on Danny Ainge? What do you think your team should do? And just go start venting, man. Go and start venting, because you know we can't do this on our YouTube channels. We gotta be more organized on the videos.
That's facts. Danny Ainge, this is an L. I'm not gonna deny that this is an L. You pass up on Paul George, and then you see a team like OKC give up Oladipo, Sabonis. It definitely hurts, and passing up a guy like that. But moving forward, man, honestly, it might be time to rebuild. It might be time to rebuild, because I don't see a player that can realistically be available for us to trade those picks. The only two I see are probably Kristaps. That's a long shot now that Phil Jackson's fired, and AD. They still want to try out Boogie and AD. So that's like what, a 1% chance that both of those even become available. Nonetheless, we getting them. So I don't know, man. I just think it's time. It's time to rebuild. Trade IT, trade Al Horford. I don't know, man.
The thing about I don't know, it's just weird to me because everything I've been trying to be optimistic about Danny Ainge and what he was doing. I thought moving down to 3 and getting another pick out of it was a smart move, especially if you're going to bundle things up. A lot of people were talking about how they love Josh Jackson in the draft. So I was like, okay, Josh Jackson more than likely will still be available at number 3. Yeah. So you'll be able to move that pick along with the other pick that you got, and maybe even a starter or two, Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder.
They wouldn't even move the Lakers pick. That's the thing. Out of like all the reports I'm seeing.
Or you can use the Nets pick. Yeah, exactly. You can use the Nets pick. So I mean, at the end of the day, there was a lot of picks that could have been moved but never were moved. And I'm just so confused. And I've been saying this for the last 8 months. I'm not sitting here saying that I know for a fact what's going to happen. I've been baffled by the moves that Danny Ainge, I guess, didn't make and just allow all these players to consistently be moved. And Danny Ainge has not been able to swing at anyone. And the person he has swung at is Al Horford, who I've been saying for a year is vastly overpaid. Just ridiculous.
The only thing I have to say about the Paul George trade is the Celtics shouldn't have overpaid for Paul George because at the end of the day, he is a 1-year rental. But looking at the offers that were made, I feel like some of them were justified, especially if y'all are trying to get Hayward next week.
That's a fact. So moving on to Gordon Hayward, you feel like more than likely they're not going to get Gordon Hayward now?
I think the chances decreased, but who knows? Who knows? This might be the only logic out there, but he might see the East being so weak that he'll go there and see it as the easiest road to the finals. But if he's going to the East, then Miami might be a more attractive option because, the weather and everything. And they still have Whiteside. They still got Waiters, all of those guys.
I was about to say, that's the thing that was bothering me. It's not like Miami is that bad of a team either, and they're in the Eastern Conference as well.
Yeah. Shout out,
man, BSOLZ, man. It's a shame.
Hey, you know what? I'll take my L, man. Y'all can roast me in the chat or whatever, but I'll take my L, man.
Okay, you're gonna have to get roasted. Because that Celtics team, I mean, people can keep acting like they know what they're talking about, but it is amazing to me how here we are, a year later, removed from signing Al Horford to that ridiculous contract, and every single month, every single big event happened, and no move was being made, and it's just it's just amazing to me. But we didn't talk about this with Agent and Waff. The Cavs. Not only did Boston lose, but the Cavs also lost as well because they didn't make the move on Paul George. They're stuck with Kevin Love, which means that more than likely they'll go into the next year's offseason with the exact same team.
Yeah.
Where does that lead us with what you think what LeBron may potentially do? Because if what's the owner name? David Griffin? I can't.
Yeah. David Griffin.
If Griff. No. Is it Gilbert? I thought it was Gilbert.
Gilbert's the owner. Griff's the one who got fired. My bad.
Yeah. If Gilbert is Gilbert is only trying to make the moves and he keeps going back to LeBron trying to figure out, okay, is this a good move? Are you willing to stay or not? That means that there is some level of uncertainty if LeBron is going to stay.
I mean, from what I'm seeing, I feel like LeBron's leaving either way.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Because they tried to make moves. They tried to move Kyrie for Eric Bledsoe and number 4 pick, and LeBron wouldn't sign off on that. And we know they had to make changes. So I think he might leave, man.
Because the thing that really threw me off with the whole LeBron thing was, or even just the Cavs in general, it's not like the Cavs had any type of assets to move anyone. I mean, their best piece was Kevin Love.
Yeah.
And nobody don't want Kevin Love. I mean, let's just be honest. Nobody doesn't want Kevin Love.
Yeah, that's facts.
Not for the $20 million that he's making a year. Not with his injuries and his issues that he has with staying on the court. Not with his lack of defensive presence. Not with the way that the NBA is going, where more players play small ball and you need Kevin Love to be more lateral, more athletic. There's nothing. I mean, there's something he brings to the court. I'm not going to act like he's just complete trash. But if I'm willing to move the haul for Paul George to kind of leave the team, I definitely would love to receive more players than just Kevin Love, especially younger players as well. What is your thoughts on Indiana though? What they received? Because I think you were in the chat telling me about the picks. You think they could have got more?
I believe.
Do you know what these picks were? Because you said 3 3 first-round picks. These could be those Minnesota and Clippers picks.
Yeah. I saw like the reports I saw. It said that it did not include the Nets and the Lakers pick. So those are not good. That's not good picks.
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so for the
Danny Ainge is still being cheap though.
That's what I'm saying. No,
he's
I was saying that, man.
He's
like there really is no excuses anymore, man. Like I've been defending this man for the past year on my YouTube channel. It's becoming I'm looking real suspect right now. But you know, I feel like the Pacers could have definitely gotten more if they waited after the Hayward trade. But I feel like I don't know. The trades were heating up too much and they just caved in.
Yeah, because I was saying that too, because I was like, I didn't know he was him, but I ain't trying to sound like that's a Raven, but I had some premonitions, you know what I'm saying? No, but I felt like if more and more people, if the talks are ramping up, that means someone was going to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Because if this much is going on, that means someone is behind the bag, maybe sweating a little bit and pulling the trigger on them. What do you think about OKC and their move and how you think they're going to look next year and what their plans are?
Honestly, I think that was a great move. They got rid of Victor Oladipo, who wasn't really helping them, and basically replaced him with Paul George. And the only thing they had to give up was a bonus. So, I mean, he's Paul George is definitely not KD, but that's the best they can do, and I think they did a great job on that. So,
could you argue though that move might be better for them than KD? I think KD's obviously a better player, but the way that I think KD was structured on that team, I think that it was very hard to.
I feel like Paul George can be more of a beta. I don't think he's that
doesn't say a beta. I ain't want to, I don't like people get upset about calling someone Scottie Pippen or being called Robin. But I think his personality, his role, he's definitely not a good enough player to be. I don't think Paul George is a good enough player. We found that out to be the best player on the winning team, but he can be second.
Yeah, and he knows whose team that is, and it's Russell Westbrook's. But.
You think he's going to stay though? You think how much? Let me ask you this: how much success would have to happen for him to stay?
I'm thinking second round. It can't be a sweep though. I'm thinking 6-game series, second round. If that happens, I think he'll stay.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go somewhere around there as well. They can't, but it has to be very fluid as well. They can't struggle at any point. And give him some doubts. Another thing that's a lot of people, and Russell Westbrook definitely has to sign the extension too, because Russell Westbrook, this could potentially be his last year on his contract if he doesn't sign that extension. But I agree, something around like a second round.
But looking at the Western now,
that's another thing too. So and that's what we're talking about as well. The way that the West is structured, and I don't care what King want to say. The West is definitely stronger than the East at this point.
Definitely, absolutely.
Not even arguable.
There was already such a big difference last year. Now it's just
the gap has gotten it is so wide at this point that it's ridiculous. Another thing that I called as well is, LeBron. It's all praise to LeBron, especially Chris Paul as well, because Chris Paul is the one who implemented and who's been the president for the player union. And they've been really pressing the idea of players having way more flexibility. But LeBron doing what he's done over the past couple of years really has opened up the floodgates for people to build these super teams like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and I think KD just took it to another level.
Yeah. But it's becoming the minds of LeBron, because now we're at a point where I don't even see LeBron coming close. I mean, I know this sounds a lot, but if LeBron don't win a ring in another year or two, these players teams we referring to now, they just gonna get even better.
Yeah,
if they get better. It's just and especially because he's getting older. I don't.
But here's the thing: if the West is getting stronger, does that help LeBron though? Because the Warriors might come into the finals looking, really tired, really fatigued, and the Cavs are gonna be real fresh.
But the thing is, I've never really seen that in effect outside of that 2016 where Curry didn't seem like he was himself. Yeah. And they were dealing with injuries with Bogut, and he went out as well. But I don't really. I mean, obviously that could potentially be a problem. But if anything, in my opinion, I just feel like with the competition in the West, and this is exactly how it was in the 2000s as well. It just pushes players to a whole nother level that you never thought that they could achieve. And it makes them better players. I feel like that's how Dirk achieved the status he achieved when he went to the finals and was at 05, 06 or something like that. And he also, again, achieved it in 2011 where Dirk and the Mavericks, a team that a lot of people slept on, were just decimating everyone. They swept the Lakers that year, even though we're going to act like that never happened. And then they went to Miami as an underdog, and then they were battle-ready and proven. I don't know. I just feel like if anything, it would make the players or the teams who came out of the Western Conference even better. I don't think. I mean, it could be weak. It could be weak though.
Yeah,
it could be weak though. Shout out to Jay because I ain't gonna lie. This conference so goddamn strong, man. This conference so strong. It's bound now. It's bound to be players who
strongest of all time. Would you call it strongest of all time?
This might be the strongest conference of all time.
It might be. It might be
the strongest conference of all time. Just the amount of talent alone, just single-handedly talent, let alone the teams. And on top of that, the amount of players that will end their career without a championship would be ridiculous. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, even with these moves being made, I still don't see a team that's better than
beating the Warriors.
Yeah, beating the Warriors. Still, I still don't. Obviously, there can be more pieces to be moved, but I don't. There's still not a team beating the Warriors. Still not. Any other questions? Jay wants to ask: is there any rhyme or reason to still have conferences? Should they not just get rid of conferences?
I mean, the only reason to have is the traveling, I guess. But that's it. That's it, man. It really isn't.
Is it any really? The traveling to me is just a weak excuse. To be honest with you, I think traveling is a terrible excuse for because I think
that someone told me that the NHL did it before.
Yeah,
and it failed because the players were getting too fatigued or something like that. But
we have like the way that people travel now is pretty easy now. It's not like it's as tough as it once was. I mean, I'm not going to act like I completely know. All I know is when Golden State won their first ring in 2015, they traveled from Oakland all the way to New Orleans, then New Orleans all the way back to Oakland, then Oakland all the way back to Memphis, then Memphis all the way back to Oakland, then Oakland all the way back to Houston, then Houston back to Oakland, and then they travel from Oakland to Cleveland.
That's a fact. Yeah.
So if you're in a Western Conference, you already have a massive disadvantage when it comes to travel anyway, because the Western Conference spread all the way from Portland, Oregon, all the way to Memphis, Tennessee anyway.
Yeah.
So it's you're at a massive disadvantage. Memphis makes the playoffs nearly every year anyway, so they're going to be in there. They may not be there anymore, but Memphis makes the playoffs fairly consistent over the last 5-7 years. So people have been traveling to Memphis fairly consistently. So I don't know. I think that's a weak argument. I think the way that things are set up, and if anything, just spread out the games, then man, just spread the games out.
Yeah,
I'd much rather just see as non-conference because That means that even though we're probably gonna get another LeBron with the Cavs versus Golden State and KD and Curry rematch, I'd much rather just see much more quality basketball in the finals than just being blowouts.
Yeah, man. Hopefully there aren't any injuries though.
Oh yeah, hopefully not. But I guess we never know. What do you think about the Blake Griffin thing? Because I don't think I asked you about that. Blake Griffin staying with the Clippers.
I mean, I don't think he had anywhere else to go besides the Clippers. So he gets the most money with the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
He's still in LA. He's the man, and they still low key might be a playoff team. So.
Maybe.
Because
I'm looking at it. Yeah, that's another thing too. So some of these teams are not going to be. I mean, you just can't make the playoffs. Only eight selections, especially if they don't get rid of conferences. And the team that didn't make it last year, Minnesota, just got significantly better. Portland might be the team that actually fall out, so they might make it. Portland will definitely fall out. And not to say that Chris Paul is replaceable, but you know, they could still get a quality point guard. Kyle Lowry might be available. You know,
they got Pat Bev and Lou.
Yeah,
that's not going to replace Chris Paul, but still, it's pretty good for setting up.
And I don't even think they really need a dominant point. I want to see Blake Griffin without a dominant ball handling point guard. I think if Pat Bev is your defensive perimeter guy, you get, and plus now you got more flexibility financially. You're not giving $20+ million or even $30+ million to Chris Paul for the next several years. So that's kind of now off your cap, and you keep what you have. Danilo Gallinari is available, so you can get your small forward, or you can get Rudy Gay, another small forward, or you can get you can get a quality perimeter player to put out there and space the floor for DJ and Blake. I don't know. It's just not as bad as a team I think a lot of people are claiming it to be.
Yeah.
But Portland, I'm looking at Portland. Portland might be the team that falls out. Denver, another team that didn't get any pieces. People were expecting them.
They probably will fall out.
Yeah, they're not going to be as good as they're going to be. And another team that's also very interesting. This is the reason why. Let me go back to this before we get off here. And I'm not, I ain't trying to put the battery to your back or anybody else like out there. But Boston, just trade all the picks to get Anthony Davis, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They might not even do it. Like if we offer everything and they don't, I don't know, man. They might still say no.
What is Pelicans going to do? Are the Pelicans making the playoffs? That's the thing.
No, and they're also. I heard they're also going to sign Drew Holiday to a 5-year too,
and that's going to be ridiculous. So why not? You'll get Al Horford. Obviously, to move the salaries around. You get Al Horford. If you're New Orleans, you still have DeMarcus, so it's not like you don't have a top 10 player.
Yeah,
you can pair DeMarcus and Al Horford together in the front court. I think that's fine. You have potentially a young piece in Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. And even if they don't give up on either one of those players, you will have more likely next year's Nets pick, next year's – they might like have to move one of them young players. But next year's Nets pick, next year's Lakers pick or potential Sacramento pick as well. If I'm New Orleans and you're telling me you're going to give me all of that, you're going to give me 2 top 10 picks, one potentially going to be number 1, and a player like Jason Tatum, and I'm still getting a quality veteran in Al Horford, we ain't making the playoffs. New Orleans, y'all not making the playoffs. New Orleans, y'all not making the playoffs. So I don't understand why not do that. It's
Danny Ainge the type of guy to say no to that too. That's the thing. So that's not happening just because of that.
So I just don't get it. And shout out to Jay because I said the Sixers are going to make the playoffs. Yeah, Sixers are going to make the playoffs.
They are.
Yeah, Sixers will make the playoffs. But anything else? I think is that it?
That Nets pick, the 2018 Nets pick, that might not be as good as people think now. Low key.
You think that team will be?
I mean, in this East, they might win. They might win. They might win more games than they should. Honestly.
But someone has to bottom out though, and I don't think Brooklyn has gotten good enough. The thing about Brooklyn though, and I said this with Waffleman agent, Brooklyn now is in a space where financially they can kind of just go out there and throw money at some younger players, just so if they want to get young assets, since they've been missing out on a lot of their picks over the last couple of years. Throw a couple $1 million over their value to a player like Nerlens Noel or KCP, and kind of see if does Detroit really want KCP?
He's top 10.
Stop. What's my man name? What does Dallas really want Nerlens Noel for $20 million a year? Because if you're Brooklyn, you have the money to go throw it to them and get some young assets. So
and they're not really losing anything. They're not really.
Yeah. Boston not. I mean, Brooklyn's not really losing anything. So what does it really matter? So I mean, if I was Brooklyn, that's what I would do. Just throw some money at some young players and see if what's going to swing or not. And if you got a combo with Nerlens Noel and D'Angelo Russell, and you kind of fill out the rest of the lineup because they had some pretty solid perimeter players, if I'm not mistaken.
In the East, jeez, that might be a playoff team.
Yeah, I like Sean Kill. You bucket. I like Sean Kilpatrick. I like Jeremy Lin as a combo shooting guard. I like Rondé Hollis-Jefferson as well. They got some pretty players as well. So It could work out. You might be right. That might not be as valuable as it once was. But this still has to be. I mean, you think Orlando's going to bottom out? Maybe the Knicks, depending on what they do. I mean, I guess so.
Yeah,
I guess so. I guess it all depends. See, that Brooklyn pick might not be as valuable, but who knows, man? You know, that's Danny Ainge, man. Shout out to Danny Ainge, man.
He still might not even trade the pick.
Shout out to Danny Ainge, because I don't know.
Shout out to Danny Ainge, man.
So and again, I must be crazy, right? Because I said just trade Isaiah Thomas, but I guess I'm crazy, bro. You got it. Because it looked like y'all about to start rebuilding, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, Danny.
Hey, man, at least we got the picks to rebuild, man. At least we got the picks to rebuild.
But y'all could have had Markelle or Alonzo, man.
Yeah. I'll take that. As I said, I'll take that, man.
I think Tatum is good. I think Tatum is good, but God knows there's a possibility he might not be as good as it needs to be. Oh yeah, and finally, Jeff Teague on to the T-Wolves.
That's a good move.
What is it, like 18 million a year?
Yeah, 55 for 3 years.
Yeah. So about that much. I think it's a good move. I think obviously the first couple of years he's probably been making like 16, 17 million. And if he's making 16, 17 million his first couple of years, and after that, it will gradually increase, and then working with their cap, they have a lot of flexibility. And obviously, if they just got rid of Ricky Rubio and just received a pick, they didn't acquire any money on the salary cap. So they have the room. They actually got so much room that they can still make a couple of more pieces, add a couple more pieces throughout the rest of free agency, so they can kind of fortify their bench, re-sign Shabazz Muhammad, and kind of go from there. But I never thought getting people saying Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is like 31, 32. He's been asking for way too much. Stay in Toronto and just be one of the great Toronto players, Kyle Lowry. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, create a legacy. Create a legacy for yourself, man.
Yeah, create a legacy. Same thing with Blake Griffin. I'm happy you stayed. Just create a legacy for yourself, Blake Griffin. How your jersey retired, Blake Griffin, man. Just do that, man. Y'all, you ain't winning no championship, man. Get your jersey retired, man. I take that as a consolation prize every day of the week, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, but you're going to plug your channel and your Twitter, man. Even though you're bigger than me, but go and plug it.
YouTube, man. BSOLZ, BSOLZ. Twitter, the BSOLZ, same spelling. And look, can you spam out the Discord link?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure I put the Discord link. I'm gonna spam it up right here, and I will actually spam it up in the description as well. I'm putting it in there. I'm trying to figure out how do I get the Discord link.
I'll get it. We basically just talk about ball. Me and Lo just on there every day.
That's a fact, though.
Yeah.
I'll be trying. I gotta sun people out there. So I'll be sunning people. They don't want to listen to me because they don't think I know about basketball because apparently I'm a hater.
Yeah.
But it's cool though. Y'all got it. You spammed it in the thing?
I can't. I'm not mod.
Oh damn. Well, put it. Well, first of all.
Hey, shout out to Convey though. Jesus Christ.
Look, I'll put it in. I'll put it in the description. I'll make sure I put it in the in my next video description as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see y'all later, man.
Peace out.